Okay, here we have the Sofirn SD05 running on a new and freshly charged Samsung 50E 21700 cell. Not a high discharge cell, but a high capacity cell. So I don't expect the highest output possible from this light. I have a digital multimeter here measuring amps at the tail cap. It's kind of rigged up, it's the best I could do. I have a small fan back here blowing a little bit of airflow across the light. Should easily simulate the slowest of cycling. We have the lux meter down here, which I'll show you. The overhead lighting is only registering 0.6 lux, so I'm not even going to turn off the overhead lighting. I'm going to set that to ×10 because that's where I expect to need it for turbo mode. I have a timer over here. I have 58.6 degrees registering on this display. I've got 59.60 degrees Fahrenheit registering on this display. Reset that timer because that'll shut off at 3 minutes. That has a temperature probe which is stuck into the fin that is closest to the emitter. That would be the fin closest to the switch. It's shoved into the groove and taped with electrical tape in there the best I could to monitor temperature. I think that covers the setup. Like I said, the cell is fully charged minus a little bit of quick checking on low. And we're going to fire it up and hit the timer, and I really want to monitor what this light does across its first few minutes of runtime. So here we go. I'm going to start the timer and go to turbo. Low, medium, high. Well, not turbo, it's high. 527 × 10, so 5270. Now we're holding 5260 on the lux. We are right now pulling 7.16 amps, and look at that, it dropped 2.7 amps already in just 20-some seconds. Very well could be that battery, or it could be my taped up electrical connection. Let me give that a little push just to check. Pushing it doesn't seem to matter. Tell you what, let's go down to medium and back up. Yeah, it's still doesn't want to go higher than 2.7 amps. That's really disappointing that it dropped that quick. Holy cow. But I don't know if it's that battery. And by the battery, I just mean it's not a good enough battery with a high enough discharge. Straighten this back up a little bit. We're down to 2930 on the lux. The head temperature is only 72 degrees. It's only 11 degrees above the room temperature. I can barely feel the fan blowing. Minute and 51 seconds. Holding pretty steady on the lux, 2930, 2920. Still holding 2.73 amps on the tail cap. Head temperature has risen slightly, 75 to 76 degrees. Doesn't even feel hot to my fingers, which at 76 degrees it shouldn't. Coming up on the 3-minute mark. passing the 3-minute mark. I believe this light was supposed to have a 3-minute step down to medium, but I don't believe it actually steps down to medium. It steps down to another level, I think. .78 degrees on the head temperature, still holding 2920 lux. .74 amps. Part of the reason I'm reading all this out is just in case it doesn't come out clear in the video. Alright, the amps has dropped slightly, so it must be dropping another level. That's part of that gradual step down that it advertises. About 2 amps now, dropping below 2 amps. And we're at 4 minutes 25 seconds. So that was more like a 4-minute timer. 1.5 amps, is it going to hold there? 1860 on the lux. 79 degrees on the head. I forgot to watch that to see what that was doing during that step down. But certainly it's not high enough for the thermal monitoring to kick in. I think it was just the timer. Yeah, so this must be where it's going to sit, 1.5 amps. I'm at the 5-minute mark, 1860 on the lux, 78 degrees on the head. Let's turn it down to medium, which is holding 1.04 amps. Go back up, there we are at that 2.74 amps at about 5 minutes 22 seconds. Might as well see how long it'll go holding that 2.74 amps. In theory, it should go another 3, maybe 4 minutes. $29.20 on the lux. It does seem to have a very nice regulated output, which is very nice on such an inexpensive light. .80 degrees on the head temperature now. Still holding the 2.75 amps. 2910 to 2920 lux. Been about 1 minute and 20 seconds now since I switched it back to high. Climbing to 82 degrees in the head temperature. I don't want to turn the fan off because then I might introduce the thermal monitoring kicking in, whereas right now I just want to see what it does on the timer. Coming up on that 2-minute mark since I've reset it to high. 2910 on the lux, 82 to 83 degree head temperature. At this 2.75 amp level, I don't even know that they needed a step down. I could understand the step down from 7 amps. I really think this light should have been low, mid, high with a turbo and have that 7 amp on the turbo level and have this 2.75 or so on a high level. Here's the 3-minute mark, and see those amps are dropping now. So now it is showing a 3-minute timer. Why was it 4 minutes the first time? Did I miss something? Did I goof something up? But you can see it is a rather slow decrease. You wouldn't even notice it with your eye out on a trail. Still dropping the amps. Hitting 1.5 now at the 9-minute mark, which like 3 minutes 40 seconds it took from switching it to turbo till it fully hit and bottomed out at medium. So now we're going to hold steady, 1.51 amps, 1860, 1850 on the Lux, 82 degrees head temperature. And that just reads reset. Alright, at this point, let's turn this fan off. And kick this down to medium, which is at 105 amps. And by the way, now this is on the battery that's been drained a bit, 0.38 amps on low. Let's kick her back up to high with no fan running at about the 10-minute mark. 2.75 amps, and it's holding. 2910 on the Lux, right back at that same regulated level. 83, 84 degrees on the head. Very slightly warm to the touch, very, very slightly. While we're waiting here, see what I did on my Lux meter, how I wired into the 9-volt connector. And I did that so that I could run the Lux meter off of a junky 8.4 volt lithium ion bicycle battery pack. That Lux meter doesn't draw that much power, so a cheap pack will run it for hours, and I don't have to worry about replacing 9-volt batteries or how long it's going to last, if it's going to go weak in the middle of my testing. No problems. Simple modification. We're still holding 2.75 amps. 2900-ish on the Lux. 2890. Now we're hitting 90 degrees in the head temperature. So at this 2.75 amp level, certainly minimal airflow would keep it cool enough to not to have thermal monitoring kick in. Now I forget what time I turned the fan off to see how long it's been going now. I'm hoping to do some more ride video with this light, and maybe with the Sofirn SP40 helmet light, or headlamp on my helmet this Wednesday. That'll be January 15th, 2020. So stay tuned for that information. Photos, videos, whatever I can get in. Still holding a nice solid 2.75 amps. 2890 on the Lux, 2880-ish. 95 degrees, 96 degrees on the head. It's very, very slowly rising. Still only feels ever so slightly warm. If you're watching this video this long, you're probably thinking, boy, is this boring. Sorry about that. Oh, we've dropped the amp level. I guess we hit the 3-minute mark. So it looks like we've topped out at 96 degrees, unless I missed something there before it dropped. And I'm sure now at 1.5 amps that temperature is going to slowly decrease, I'm sure. Oh, before I shut this video off, let's just make sure we can come back to medium. 105 amps. Low, 0.38 amps. Kick right back up to high at our 2.7576 amp level, 2890 on the Lux. So if you want, you can keep switching down to medium and back to high for as long as the battery will have enough power to do so, and keep using it that way. I do feel like that magnetic ring mode selector switch is a little tough to use with gloves. If you're wearing nice form-fitting, tight-fitting gloves, it's probably not too bad to switch, but otherwise I gotta mess with it a little bit, and sometimes I'm not sure if I over-switched and went to low. Especially when I'm wearing a helmet light, it's harder to see what the bar light just did. So I do see, now that I've gone back to turbo, we're up to 98 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, that'll wrap it up for this video. I hope it was helpful to somebody. Post your comments below. Thank you.